What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph! I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, we got a new band to the channel. Check this out. This comes as a request from Airsoft Repairs. Airsoft Repairs wanted to watch me to react to this new band to the channel called Sabaton, with a tune called In Livstid I Krig. Alright, now, here's the thing. Have I heard of Sabaton? I've heard of them, yes. But to the best of my knowledge, I haven't heard anything by them. Okay, so I know of their existence, I know they are out there, but I don't know if I've ever heard anything from them. Now, as always, if I start listening to this and I go, oh yeah, I recognize this, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Sabaton, and this video has 711,873 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. Alright, here we go. Sabaton. In Livstid I Krig. Alright. This is live? Cool. The Great Tour in Gothenburg. Alright, let's do this!
Alright boy, let's do this!
Helt underbart. Mina vänner, då sjunger vi tillsammans. En livstid i krig!
Okay, I'm going to pause really quick. Alright, already starting off, I'm liking what I'm seeing. That is the bassist. Yep, that's the bass player front and center. Okay, so they start the song, guitar players flanking the bass player. Bass player runs up front and center, guitar's flanking him in the back, left and right. Now, what I loved about this is the bass player is going up to the front, he's hitting a note, he's sustaining it, okay? So he's not worrying about playing with the kick or staying with the click. He's just gonna hold a note, let it sustain, like a pedal note. Now, what does he do? He doesn't just stand there. He's got his hands waving back and forth, trying to get the crowd with him, and the crowd responds. It doesn't always have to be the lead singer. This is one of my biggest criticisms of band members and live bands in general, when the musicians are literally just standing there doing nothing other than playing. Like they'll play the note, boom, they'll let it ring, and they just stand there like, okay, well, we're gonna let it ring, now what? Do something with yourselves. Interact with the crowd. Talk about a perfect opportunity. When you're sustaining a note for like a measure or two, this is your chance. This is your chance to make a connection with the crowd, even if it's just one person. I know I've said this before in my Beyonce reactions. If you can establish one connection with one person in the crowd, you've done your job. You've absolutely done your job. So, great job on that bass player. Let's keep going here, shall we? Wow. Nice. Okay. Yeah. These guys are having a good time. I love it when we get this kind of perspective. You're getting a perspective here that most people don't get to see. You're actually getting a chance to see what it looks like to be on the stage, looking out into a crowd of people like that. Very cool. The way he led the crowd, almost like he was conducting, which was really cool to see. I mean, he wasn't just standing there with his hands on his hips or, hand like this to his ear going, I can't hear you. No, he actually was like conducting them. That makes the crowd feel even more a part of the show. And in the reality is, in that case, they were, because lead singer for that whole first verse didn't sing a word. He led the crowd. The crowd sang the entire first verse. That makes them a part of the show. It was very cool. Great moment right there. As far as the song goes, I'm digging it. I'm digging the feel of it. It's got that slower feel to it, but powerful. So it's not a dead tune by any stretch. I mean, it's a little slower, yeah, but there's so much drive behind it and so much power behind it. Just because the tempo is down doesn't mean that the energy is down. So great job, guys. Let's keep going. Before the guitar solo starts, we're going to pause. I'm going to back it up so we can get into the guitar solo. Okay. That chordal progression they have in the chorus, very typical of B minor. It goes, B minor, down to the G, up to the D, down to the A. Now, what's cool about what they're doing is they're following that exact progression, but it doesn't just repeat. It goes, they're doing B to G to D to A, and then they're doing back up to D, C sharp, A, an extra measure to kind of resolve it, which is really kind of nice. And then it goes back into the, the B to G to D to A progression again. It just keeps it from becoming like every other song out there that, does the B, G, D, A progression. There's a ton of songs that do that progression. I mean, I think that they did what was that video I watched one time? Like, it's a comedy duo. I don't remember the name of the comedy duo, but it was a comedy duo that had two guitars, and they're like, listen, we're gonna do, I think it was like 68 songs, all in the same progression, all in the same key, and we're gonna do them all in under like 10 minutes or something like that. And I remember watching it going, oh my God, I didn't realize, and it was based on that progression, the B to G to D to A progression. And I was blown away. I was like, I couldn't believe there were that many songs that used that particular progression, but they did. I don't remember the name of the comedy duo. I wish I could. If I do remember, I promise I'm going to put it in the comments because it was worth watching. I don't remember the name. Anyway, let's keep going. This is a good start. Let's keep this up. Solo time, right? Right guitars, okay? Nice. go. Yep. Acknowledge the crowd. Interact with the crowd.
Och när min tid har runnit ut, vem bryr sig då? Vi kämpar på, får en soldat ett värdigt slut. Och somnar in, försvinna bort och aldrig vakna för kriget är man. Förgöra en man. Jag ger mitt liv för mitt fosterland. Men vem saknar mig så ser mig som den. En make, en vän.
Look at that! See? They play, they stop playing, they clap again. Nice. Outstanding. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. All across the board. Loved everything about that. Well, there you go, folks. That was Sabaton with Livstid I Krig. That was a request from Airsoft Repairs. On a scale of 1 to 10, starting off strong today, we're going to give that an 8.8. Yep, 8.8. I feel great with that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I'm going to divide this into two parts, okay? So there's going to be the music part, the musicianship part, and then there's going to be the showmanship part. Starting off with the musicianship, the songwriting. Simple but effective. I mean, this is not a hard song by any stretch. I mean, it's a pretty simple riff. Like I said before, B to G to D to A. I like that transitional measure they put in the middle there. They go up to B, and then D, C sharp, A, back up to the B, and then it repeats. And I love that transitional measure. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it from being, so repetitive like everything else out there that does the same riff sounds. So great job differentiating themselves from everyone else. Drumming was solid. I mean, nothing stuck out. Nothing stuck out in a negative way. There were a couple of fills that were pretty good. I know I've said this before about a couple other drummers. I love the fact this guy was not cymbal heavy. He was very much about the drums, like the toms and the kick and the snare. I mean, yes, he was using cymbals, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like cymbal crashes through the entire song. I mean, there were a lot of places where there were no cymbals used at all, which I love. I love it when drummers don't rely on cymbals to cover everything. So, great job to their drummer. Bassist was very solid in his playing, but more importantly than that was what he did in the showmanship, and I'm going to get to that later. But the bass player was locked in with the drummer, not being a distraction in any way, shape, or form, holding a lot of pedal notes. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of pedal notes, but in a song like this where the tempo is more subdued and the tempo is a lot slower and the feeling of the song is a lot more epic, like almost cinematographic. I mean, it's almost like a movie score almost. pedal notes are okay. I mean, they work. Still not my favorite thing in the world, but in a situation like this, the song almost calls for it. Like, if he were to be sitting there hitting quarter notes the entire time, I'm going to be honest with you, I think that might be a distraction. So, him holding the pedal notes, tastefully done, well done. Not my favorite thing, but in a situation like this, needed. Guitar playing, awesome. I loved that solo. Both solos were really nice. Very similar in styles. Not like some of the other bands I've seen that have two guitar players. These two guitar players, their soloing was like, not identical, but their style was very similar. But great tones coming out of them. Really crunchy, thick, heavy tones, which I love. And then the lead vocalist did a great job singing the parts that he did sing. Not a high-range guy from the sound of it. He sounds more like he's a chest voice, baritone kind of guy. And nothing wrong with that at all. It fits the style of music just fine. He did a great job, very clear, great diction. He projected well. So overall, great job from him. Now, let's talk about the showmanship. I couldn't really see the showmanship for the drummer a whole lot. The camera didn't really pan to him too often. So I only saw the drummer for like a grand total of like maybe 20 seconds. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot of what he was doing. But everybody else up at the front of the stage, I could see pretty well. Guitar players were doing a pretty good job playing to the crowd, which was good. Always looking out into the crowd, foot up on either the platform, the upper platform, the eagle blocks, or, you know, they were taking some sort of a pose or something like that to show the crowd that they were there for them. Always a good thing. The bass player, I gotta tell you, I think he did the best job out of everybody when it comes to a showmanship standpoint. He did the most as far as interacting. He put out the most effort as far as interacting. Constantly coming out to the front, waving his hand from side to side, holding his hand out, you know, letting the crowd know that I see you, I hear you, now let me hear you, you know, and just doing the best job overall, I think, of interacting with the crowd. Lead vocalist did a great job too, don't get me wrong. In the part, like I said, the first verse, where he was practically being the conductor, you know, and leading the crowd as they sang the first verse in unison. That was a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. He didn't just stand back and listen. He actually took part and led them, which made the crowd feel like even more of a part of the show. So kudos to them all across the board. This is why they're getting the 8.8. Did it blow my mind? Not quite, but really close. I mean, it really got close there. I've heard of Sabaton. I've heard that they do some great live shows. I've never seen it. I've never heard it. Now I can say I've seen it and I've heard it. And it was a great job across the board. So, 8.8, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show and you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It will do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it will keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.